Hello friends, Amy R here with Prairie Paper and Ink with some fun rainbow glitter paste cards. I'm using this Simon Says Stamp Rainbow Mini set of glitter paste. These are made by Decofoil for Simon Says Stamp, and they come in the set of 6. I highly recommend using Press and Seal. Simon does sell it. I will link to it because I know international people have a harder time getting this. For those of us in North America, you can find Press and Seal just about everywhere. I've talked about this in many videos, but I highly recommend it because it helps seal these pastes, especially glitter pastes. Any type of glitter paste, some of my like glacier paste, those sorts of things, the ones that really do tend to want to dry out very quickly, this helps. If you can't get your hands on Press and Seal, I recommend just doing maybe a couple layers of regular like cling film. You can also press it down on top of the glitter paste before putting the lid on. That also helps. So I have all my pastes. I've taken off the lids, got them all kind of organized because I'm going to use them all because I want to use and do a rainbow kind of blend over this fanfare stencil. And it just so happens that the stencil is perfectly sized for 2 A2 card fronts. I was just going to do one after the other. And then when I lined one up, I was like, oh, I can line the second one up. So why not do it all at once? So that's what I did. I had sprayed the stencil. I have a like a door to the outside because I work in my garage now. So I just take it outside, spray the back of the stencil with pixie spray. With this specific stencil, it's not 100% necessary, but I like it to hold everything in place, you know, especially since I'm doing all these colors and I just didn't want anything moving. So I have my cardstock on the back of the stencil, and now I'm applying my glitter paste with a little palette knife. And I started with the cherry at the top, like left corner. And I can tell where the center is because I can just lift the stencil a little bit and I can see where the second piece of cardstock starts. So that way I'm able to make sure, you know, I'm kind of lining up within reason. I'm planning on trimming these down a bit, but I don't want to go completely overboard, you know, and overlap the colors. And then in between colors, I just wipe off the little bit of paste left on my palette knife so that I'm not mixing the colors in the container. And I just work my way down. So I went cherry and then sherbet and citrine. And now I've got perfection. And then I'll go to surf and amethyst. Amethyst is fabulous. So fabulous. All of these are really. They're very textural. They're not blingy in the sense of they don't have like that reflective glitter in them. But trust me, like right now, everything looks like a hot mess. Usually it does with stenciling. Like this looks like a hot mess. But bear with me. Once I got everything on, I got all my lids on, everything's good to go. I'm going to peel back the cardstock from the stencil. And this was the most satisfying moment. It's like heat embossing. You know those things? It's like, oh, the reveal. I was just like, this is perfection. So I immediately cleaned my stencil. Glitter paste, again, if you do not clean it off, it's like, it's not even just like glue, it's like cement. It just, oof. So I cleaned off my stencil, set it aside to dry, let these dry. It honestly didn't take very long, maybe, goodness, less than 20 minutes. You know, I didn't apply it really thickly, or really thick. It was just, yeah, it dried pretty quickly. So once these were dry, I trimmed these panels down and ended up actually trimming them down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Yeah. So they'll have a nice little kind of border on my A2 card around them. So I just used my guillotine trimmer and trimmed all of this down. And like I said, they're not blingy reflective. They're just, I don't know. And on the black cardstock, it just made my day. I love it. Anyway, after I'd done that, I die cut some black cardstock and some of Simon's matte gold cardstock with the Your On My Heart wafer die. Usually I stack with like white cardstock, but I specifically chose black for this so that I don't have white cardstock kind of peeking out from under the sentiment. It just fits a little better. See what I mean? So I don't have like the harsh white, since this entire thing is on black cardstock, and then it's going to be on a black cardstock base as well. So I have my sentiments stacked. There is an outline for these sentiments, but I didn't want to use it because I didn't want to cover up any of this stenciling any more than I had to, because I just loved it. So I used just the words for this. And then when it came to adhering these on top of these backgrounds, I took an extra minute here to apply my glue. I'm not applying the glue thick. I don't want it oozing out all over the place, but I made sure to put on a little more than I normally would because I'm adhering on top of that glitter paste. If it's just cardstock to cardstock, a few dots will do, like especially with Simon's Craft Tacky Glue. But when you're adhering on top of like glitter paste or something really textural, you want a little bit of extra glue. Take, like I said, that extra minute just to make sure things are going to like adhere, and then you're good to go. So my stencil's clean. There's a little bit of pixie spray left in the back. I do get asked about that. If my stencils are still sticky with the pixie spray, I'm fine with it. I put it back in its package. Next time I go to use it, it's like, oh, there's still some stick there. Great. And I'll just keep using it till it wears off. Or you can wash it off with a bit of soap and water. So there's a little bit of stick left on there. I still used a little bit of my washi tape to hold just a couple pieces of white cardstock under the stencil. And then I blended Simon's Golden Locks ink. This is like an oldie but goodie, like Simon classic ink. And it was kind of the perfect shade. I forgot I even had it. And I didn't want to use like a gold pigment ink on the inside of the card because that would take forever to dry. And I'm an impatient person. And I would rather use like a regular ink. So that's what I did. And just did light blending over it with a blending brush on some white cardstock. And then I put these panels in my MISTI, and I'm inking up stamps from the CZ Design Spring in My Step stamp set. And I'm inking those up with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And off camera, I had gold heat embossed a couple of little companion sentiments from that same stamp set. I gold heat embossed them onto black cardstock and then just trimmed them with my paper trimmer. And then for the card fronts, I cut down some foam tape to pop those up so that the fronts of the cards will say, "You're on my heart, I thought you should know." And then the insides will say, "Paper hugs, grateful for you." I really like this "You're on my heart" wafer die. It'll work for so many occasions. Thinking of you, sympathy, get well soon, thank you, birthday. Like, it's kind of one of those sentiments that works for anything, really. Whatever you got to say, it's like, "You're on my heart." I like it. So anyway, for my foam tape, I also used black foam tape, keeping everything classy and tied together. So this is some Studio Caudia black foam tape. This stuff is super sticky. Both her foam tapes, the white and the black, are super sticky, just FYI. I use my little Tim Holtz mini snips with all my foam tapes because they're Teflon coated, so it keeps them from getting super gunked up and sticky. I always link to that next to the foam tapes I'm using, just FYI, because sticky foam tapes or sticky adhesives and trying to cut with regular scissors is just frustration. So anywho, I got my card fronts popped on with the foam tape. I adhered the insides and the little companion sentiments to the insides. As always, you could leave as is, but I had to add a little bit more bling. Just tie in a little more gold. Why not? So I added these are some Trinity Stamps, Gold Eclipse crystals. And I just used my little Studio Caudia embellishment wand and some Craft Tacky Glue, again being kind of aware with where I'm adhering these and applying a little extra glue if it's on top of like the stenciled glitter paste, just to make sure everything's good and adhered. And then I'll let the glue dry, and then I'm going to pair these with some gold envelopes from Simon, and that's going to finish off these cards. So like I said, these aren't super sparkly, like, when I need to turn on the flashlight on my phone so you guys can really see the glitter, but they're so pretty, and the texture and the way it catches the light and on the black cardstock, it is fabulous. These glitter pastes are so amazing. I love them. I've been hoarding them since I got them how many months ago, and now I'm like, crap, I need to order like multiple sets of these because they're fun. Anyway, as always, I will have links below the video to my blog post and a supply list, and I'll link to everything I use so you can check that out below if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping, commenting, all of it. I very much appreciate your support, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!